Get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the bar, but meantime.
We would like to know is how this project started and who's the founder. The founder, there is one founder of this concept band.
Would you like it in English or Italian?
As you prefer.
Okay. Marco Caviglia is responsible
Yes.
for us being here tonight. 4 or 5 years ago, he collected various members. More.
2009.
Was it really?
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
He reassembled various members of the original Dire Straits band to do a concert for fun. And
Just one concert. It was just an event.
one.
pretty much one. Yeah. The first one that I did was close to Rome. Where is it?
Yeah, it's Monte San Giovanni Festival.
Monte San Giovanni
Campano,
Festival.
yeah.
And we all arrived not really understanding what was going on, or not really expecting anything. But 6,000 people came, and we kind of considered between us, this looks like it could be very interesting for the future. And it made us understand that the brand of Dire Straits is very, very strong, especially in Italy, it seems. So gradually, one by one, Marco contacted me, contacted Danny, contacted Pickwithers, contacted John Ilsley, Alan, Jack Sonny,
Okay.
Original members.
Mel.
Of,
Yes, yes.
Mel, of course. And we gradually devised an idea to take it a stage further, which is what we're doing now. So over the last 5-7 years, we've been experimenting in various places, in various arenas. The last concert we did was on New Year's Eve in Matera, and 20,000 people came, which kind of confirmed the whole project was
Wonderful.
an interesting avenue to follow. So that's what we're doing now.
Okay. And in the beginning, the band was called Dire Straits Legends.
Yes, yes.
Is it right?
That's
or
correct,
now it's changed in the Legacy.
Legacy, yes.
Right?
Yes, John. It was John.
John Ilsley decided that the name, the Legends name, the Legends brand was perhaps not suitable because it puts a lot of importance on the individuals, and it also in English, a legend is normally dead.
Okay.
That's why when you talk about a living legend, you say living legend.
Okay.
A living legend. So
that's the reason for the name change.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Legacy means the
Yes. Okay.
it's a much broader kind of idea.
Apart from Offler, okay. Who's the member you'd like the most to join now the band from the old members, apart from the ones that are on the stage now with you?
To be honest with you, Alan is the most important. Alan Clark,
Okay.
because he was with the band the longest,
Yes.
apart from Mark and John and maybe Pick.
no, Mark and John.
Mark and John.
Vic left after 3 albums.
Okay.
Okay.
So Alan was responsible for a lot, in fact most of the big stage arrangements of the Dire Straits songs. And it's his sound and it's his technique which has built the sound of Dire Straits, which in 1992 was the last time it was a band, because we stopped in 92.
And now Alan is in the band.
Yes, Alan is here tonight. Yeah.
Okay. And past members also Withers and Ilsley,
Ilsley as well.
they played with you.
They have.
In the past, they made some
yeah,
concerts.
and it was lovely. They have their own lives, and they're not
They are
always
doing their album now, solo album maybe.
I don't know what Pig is doing, but John is doing his own solo career, and apart from that, he doesn't need to do this.
Okay.
In terms of he's financially secure,
Okay.
shall we say? So he'd much rather sit at home and paint pictures and have time with his family.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And what kind of audience up to now has attended your concert? Most of them are nostalgic, or
This is interesting. This was one of
young
the things,
guys,
well,
the new guys.
This was the interesting thing, I think, for all of us, is that yes, there were the people that of my age, or 50 plus, that remember the band with a lot of affection, or a lot of that wanted to see it again, but also a lot of young people that never saw it the first time around.
Okay.
So there's a lot of 16, 17, 20-year-old people that weren't even born the last time Dire Straits played. So that's been an interesting observation for me, and it's great because it gives the band longevity. It means that there's a future.
Okay. You're spreading the word of Dire Straits to the new generations,
Exactly.
maybe, and that's good. And when the people, sorry for the English, I don't know the word, fanatici, fanatics. When are you on stage and you play the songs? Are you rearranging them, or you are trying to play like the album, or you are making something of yourself? You are free to, what's the policy?
The concept of the band really is to try to recreate the atmosphere and the arrangements of the band when it stopped in 1992, and that's so the arrangements that we play are true and accurate to that period of the band.
Okay, so you're trying to play exactly as
Absolutely.
Maybe we are doing some little new arrangement on the early stuff, on the early songs. Maybe
because you have to
Six-Day Night with the sax,
the
me up as well.
The early Dire Straits catalogue was a four-piece band.
Okay.
Was.
And so we're an eight-piece band. So there's some embellishment.
Nine.
Eight.
Okay.
So there's some embellishment, just to give someone, Mel, something to do. For example, he plays in six-blade knife, which is different from the original, but it's a nice addition.
Okay, and for you, I read all your career, all your albums. You played with so many people, and you've been in the band for 3 years.
Well, it's 2 years on every street. The album I played on some of the album, and I did the tour for a year and a half. So I guess I was a former member.
Okay, and in what does it mean, Dire Straits in English? In your career, in all of your experience, this period, what does it mean?
It was a wonderful period for me. I mean, between 1988 and 1992, I went from the Eric Clapton band, which was probably the best band in the world.
Which one, excuse me?
Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton. I read it, of course.
To from directly within the space of 2 weeks from stopping with Eric, I went to Dire Straits. So I went from the best band in the world to the most successful band in the world, very quickly, and they consecutively. It was a great period for me. Great fun.
From Eric Clapton and Dire Straits.
Yeah.
A legend.
It's also nice that you have a gig between Eric and Dire Straits, Network.
Yeah, there was an interesting moment where one of the last concerts I did with Eric was at Nebworth in outside of London. It was a massive concert. It was 100,000 people.
More than
and there was a lot of great people on it, and also Mark and John came and did a song with Eric's band. So this was the first time that I got to meet John and Mark, and that was the interesting crossover between the two bands, because before I was a guitar player with Eric, Mark Knopfler was a guitar player with Eric, so they were old friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it was a lovely moment, because it introduced me to Dire Straits, and I played some Dire Straits song with Eric in the band, and also with Steve Ferroni.
Alan also.
and Alan, and so it was a
Also
crossover.
Guy was
Guy
there,
changed.
yeah.
So
Guy-
three members have been in with Eric Clapton and Dire Straits.
Yeah.
Three members.
Yeah.
Incredible. And
Because Steve, Alan and you were in a band with Eric at that time.
That's right, yeah.
Right?
Along with Greg Fillinganes and Ray Cooper is a fabulous band.
Nathan East as well.
Nathan, yeah.
Nathan, yeah.
and the working method, the difference from
Big
Clapton
difference, yeah.
and
It's
Knopfler are also. Dire Straits is more a band. You were free, or they are the leader and they.
The difference between the two bands, when I joined Eric's band, we did 3 days rehearsal before the first show.
3 days.
Sì, sì.
Eric band.
Solo 3 giorni.
And with Mark, we did 3 months
Okay.
rehearsal. So that was the difference in the mentality and the approach to music. And it was very interesting. I understood very quickly why they needed 3 months to rehearse, because the arrangements are so precise and so dynamic in terms of the hardest thing with a band of 8 people is to understand the dynamics all at the same time.
Okay.
So that's the thing that took the time. That's the thing that you have to learn with a band like Dire Straits.
And from your view, now you play with such legends. The word is legends, and watching the music world now, the new bands, the way how the people live music today. I'm talking about the young musicians. What's your thoughts about it?
It's all valid, for sure. But the difference with the whole industry now is that we have a thing called Pro Tools, which is the recording medium, the modern recording medium, and you can take it with you. So a lot of bands, most bands now, including Eros, which I just did, they have the Pro Tools session from the album, and you listen to it in a headset and you play with it, and they embellish the concert with stuff that's pre-recorded. The difference between modern music and what we did back in the 90s is that we didn't have that. So
technology was not so like today.
No, absolutely. So every note that you heard was coming from the stage, not from some pre-recorded medium.
Tape or
Okay. That's the difference.
From the new generation of musicians, you work with so many people, also Italian musicians.
Yeah.
Which one do you like, or the new generations, or is there someone that you like the most?
They're all valid, as I said before. The business has changed so much that in the last 20 years that you have to kind of accept it, and I'm used to listening to a click in one ear and playing. The difference is that 20 years ago we didn't have that, and for me it takes away the spontaneity of a concert, because now if you go to see the same concert from Eros Ramazzotti, for example, it will be the same concert 20 times.
Every night, yeah.
Okay.
Because you're listening to something in your headset that dictates what you play.
Okay.
And for me, that's not fair to the people that pay to come and see the gigs, because I think we as musicians owe it to them to be spontaneous and to give them something different every night.
And both Clapton or Dire Straits, they are great guitarists, of course, but what I think is that the creativity was so much better than today, because today so many musicians are have great technique, great technique, but there is not a solo or a riff that can make history.
Well,
like in the past.
That's probably what we refer to as soul. A lot of soul has gone out of modern music, from my point of view.
Soul.
Anime.
Yes.
That's missing from me in a lot of music now. There's a few people left that still have it. I think Zucchero, for example, and I think Pino Daniele
The great.
was possibly one of the most soulful people I've ever worked with. Wonderful.
Yes. Sometimes we had interviews with bands, also Italian bands from the 70s, and they say the school of music, there is a lot of guys, a lot of people doing the schools of music, but what imagination and creativity, there is a lack of it.
Yes.
And because the touch of Knopfler, Clapton, Gilmour, David Gilmour, the touch that
Soul, maybe.
the soul is
Soul,
is lacking today.
Sadly, yes. I mean, there's a few people around. John Mayer, for example, I think has it. I think he's as good as Mark, as good as Clapton, maybe better than Clapton as a technician. But it's again, he doesn't rely on anything pre-recorded. It's all live. And it's the old way, it's the old-fashioned way.
Maybe there was more space for improvisation, maybe also on the live. For this, if you got the live concert of that period, different.
That's what I learned playing with Eric, because it was undefined. An arrangement for a song could last. Well, it wasn't really divided into bars as the music is. It was divided into time, and if Eric was on fire, which he often was, if he was playing really good, then that section would just grow and grow and grow until he until he stopped. Basically. So a blues song.
Follow soul. Following his soul.
Just following what he was feeling on that
vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. And future plans for your band? This is the last question, then we leave. You are going on tour in Switzerland, right?
Yeah, and in May we have a series of concerts in South America.
Okay, South America.
So we're looking to do that. I think we're doing about 20 concerts in May.
20.
So that's the initial future, but we're also recording.
Huh?
We're recording
live.
New songs.
New songs in the style of Dire Straits, and that's the next project really.
And they will be released as Dire Straits Legacy.
Yeah.
The
DSL.
New
DSL.
New songs, DSL.
Yeah.
When you already started?
We've got 4.
This is a scoop. No, we didn't.
Yeah, we've been doing it. We started in Los Angeles with Steve Ferroni's studio.
Steve Ferroni, okay.
In December.
Okay.
And Pino Palladino dropped by and played some bass.
Bass guitars, I know.
And so it was a great situation. It was me and Steve and Pino and Alan. So we put some tracks together. And then we brought it back here, and we've been working up at Forward Studios, close to here in Grota Ferrata. And we have a nice collaboration with Massimo, who owns the studio up there. So
Massimo, scusa,
The owner of Forward Studios.
Okay.
Which is really 10 minutes from here.
Yes, I know. We live here, so you know.
So we're working up there. So if anytime you want to drop in and have a listen, you're very welcome.
So
we are recording and mixing in Grotta Ferrata, between Los Angeles and Grotta Ferrata.
Wonderful.
Okay. Will be out an EP very soon, April, I think.
Probably April, yeah.
April. Un EP with
Quando, scusa?
Aprile.
Aprile, April.
4 songs, and then the album in October, November.
Okay. And also Matt Collins is on the album?
Yeah. Everybody.
This is great. the big news.
Big news.
The big news.
Okay.
Thank you, incredible. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for us. Thank you. Grazie. Grazie tanto.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the bar, but meantime Now the river, you stop in your hole, everything. The band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music. Now you say have been inside, but you don't see.